Go.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for being so patient and waiting for me to get back. As you know, I was moving, buying a new house, brought the new house. We are finally moved in, settled and unpacked, and time to get back to making more tutorial videos and unboxing videos. So let's get started on our first video, and we're going to be making a Tiana themed necklace set. All right, let's go. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started on this box. I'm going to be working with the Key Lime Pie box. I know you guys remember that one. It was the nice pretty green one. And out of the May Blossoms, I think it is. I believe so. Out of that box, I am going to be using the little flower charms that looks like this. Okay, so we'll be taking those pieces out of here. And as well as the spacer beads. Okay. The bead caps, I'm sorry. So we'll be using, oh, that one's broke. Hold up. So we'll be using these ones. Okay. Alright, and then these are the tools we're going to need today. We are going to be using 20 gauge wiring. Now, if you want, you can use a little thicker if you want, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with 20 gauge wiring for this one, just a little bit easier for me. Tools we're going to be using, of course, you need wire cutters, pliers, at least 2. If you don't have a wire straightener, don't worry, use your fingers, it works just fine. And something to bend our wire around. All right, and the pattern we're going to be going with today, here we go. All right, and remember I said I wanted to make something out of this box because I just immediately thought of Princess Tiana when I saw all the green in this box, especially with this beautiful pendant right here. So this is the pattern I got right now, and these little connectors you can get from Michael's. So I had got them from Joann Fabrics, but they do have them at Michael's now as well. All right, and I'm going to be using the very small ones out of the box, as well as 2 of the big ones out of the box. Okay, so we're gonna need at least 6 small ones out of the box. Okay, because we're gonna be making the bracelet as well. We won't be making it because the bracelet is very much mimicking the necklace, so we won't need to do that. But here's an idea of what the layout is gonna look like. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna set this to the side. And I'm just going to start with the wire works. Sorry guys, moved into the new crib and all, but I have not technically got my area together of where I'm going to be, you know, doing my work at. I do have the closet now that I want to have all my crafts in, so I love that I got enough closet space for it. All right, so for the wire, I'm going to start, not too much wiring, right? You don't want to be too drastic with it. You want to be able to work with it. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to snip that off here. Okay. And let's go ahead and give it a little straighten out. I am going to cut this little part off back here. I don't want to have to fuss with it. Alright, so like I said before, you can either use your fingers, because it'll do just the job just fine. Okay? If you don't want to use your fingers, just use your wire straighteners. Just give it a little pull. Just to give it a nice little straighten out. Alright, so what we're going to do, let me fix my feet here, guys. Okay, there we go. Hopefully I don't drop the beads over here. Okay, so what we're going to start out doing first is we want to get a wrap going, right? So we can get the beads going at the end. Alright, so now the hole can be any size you want. And as you know, the hole is per the size of the pliers right here, the round pliers, right? So the closer you go to the pliers, the bigger the hole is going to be. The further away you go to it, the smaller the hole is going to be. So that's up to you on how you want it. I will show you the bracelet real quick of how I kind of made them. So this is the bracelet that goes with. All right. Very simple, very pretty, very elegant. And I did not make the holes on there too big. I wanted them a little small to medium, okay? Now, there we go with the bracelet. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get started on that wire wrapping. I hope this is good because my camera is a little crooked. I don't want to keep fussing with it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, we'll start right here. Yeah, about right there would be good enough to wrap with. I'm gonna go about that size for wrapping. Okay, turn it around. And then give it another little pull right there. And we're gonna do maybe one set, 2 sets, and then we'll go off camera and finish it because we don't need to wire wrap the whole entire thing on camera. All right, so once I've got my circle, as you see there, and I grab my other tools that I'm gonna use. And this is why we're gonna go off camera, because you're gonna have to keep switching through tools. So I'm gonna hold it with this one right here. And if you don't have that, like I said, don't worry, use your flathead pliers, okay? But start wrapping it. Now I'm not gonna do a messy wrap. I want a nice clean wrap. So I'm gonna do about 3 go arounds. I think that's good enough. When I say messy and clean, messy, you're not worried about if your lining is gonna be straight. Clean, you want it to be straight. You don't want it on top of each other, is what I mean. Okay? As I'm wrapping this, I'm making sure that these coils don't go on top of each other. And I will be investing in a better camera. I had brought one last year, Christmas time. Spent like 600 bucks on it, but I swear I could not figure out how to work it. So I returned it. Because I wasn't going to keep something I didn't know how to use. But I will be looking to a better one. Alright, so let's go ahead and boops right there. Alright, and we're going to take that little piece that's sticking out. Because we don't, when you want someone to wear your jewelry, you don't want that little piece that's sticking out to be scraping against their skin, right? So we're just going to tuck that piece in. You can use your pliers to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck that in. There we go. Nice clean. 3 little wraps. Looks great. Okay. Now if you can see that, but you got 3 little wraps right there. Okay. Nice and clean. Not on top of each other. Not messy looking. All right. Now let's go ahead and start adding our beads. All right. We're going to start with this light crackled agate one. And I love this little agate one. It reminds me of a soft petaled flower is what it reminds me of. So I really love the color of this one, and especially the fact that it is crackled. All right. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, working with the wires, it actually makes my skin peel. So I got a little bit of that right now going on since I've done the bracelet already. But that's okay. All right, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and get that wire wrap now. So we're going to go ahead around those pliers. And when you do get ready to wire wrap this, give yourself space between the pliers and directly on the cat beads. You don't want them directly on them. Just a little tiny space up, okay? Because you're going to be wrapping, so you want to be careful of that. If you don't do that, you'll end up having a messy wrap. Now, if the messy wrap is good for you, then go for it. But I'm going to keep it clean since I'm having Princess in mind. All right? So right now, I'm just wrapping it around. Bringing it as close as I can over here. Now, I feel like I need to pull my camera up a little bit more, but I didn't really want to keep fussing with it. All right, I'm going to cut a piece off about right over here. All right? There we go. And then begin to wire wrap this one. All right. Yes, I definitely need to tweak my camera a little bit more. It's blowing me. This looks a little, hold on guys. It's tweaking me out. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. That was really starting to annoy me. Okay, so let's continue. All right, we've got the loop in already, right? Let's go ahead and wrap it. This is pretty much what we're going to do for each one of the pieces. Uh-oh, that one's kind of going on the messy side, and we don't want that. I'm just going to squeeze it back to the top right here. There we go. and then I'll finish wrapping it. And try not to be too heavy-handed like I am, and where you end up bending your whole entire wire that the bead's on. I've done that a couple times already. So I'm gonna cut it. Okay, figure out what I did with my tool. Oh, here it goes, it fell. All right, so I'm gonna cut it here. A little bit more, don't need that big of a tail. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and tuck that piece in. All right, so now we have got our first piece done. All right, and that's what it looks like. You got 3 nice even coils on each side. All right, and there we go. And this is pretty much what we're going to do for each and every piece. So second piece here. Okay, once again, get your wiring, straighten your wiring out, start your loop-de-loop. Like I said before, the size of the hole really depends on what you want, okay? Go ahead and loop it all the way around. Okay. Try not to get too close to the camera. I'm really not working on my normal table, my table that I work on. So I feel like I'm super, super close to the camera when I shouldn't be. So it's kind of just, it's making me feel like everything's blurry. So I'll have to watch this video before I post it, definitely. And see if I'm even going to post it, depending on how the outcome comes. Okay. That one's trying to give me a messy wrap, but that's okay. I can get past that. I'm only doing 3 wraps. Okay, and that's done right there. That's 3. We'll go ahead and give it a little snap. Close that sucker up. Just like we said, we do not want anybody to be hurt. Alright, let's give it a little pinch, make sure it's all together. Now we're going to add our beads onto it. Pull it all together. And so that this is not hitting the camera, I'm going to go ahead and snip this now. Well, let's say right there. Go ahead, get the twisties in there. But right there would do. We might have cut it a little bit too short. I hope not. Hopefully I can make it work. Hopefully I can make it work. It's only 3 twists, but we'll see. Now I just have to do this one all over again. Pray I don't. Alright, and because sometimes working with the small ones, I don't get a good grip as I want, so we'll use this. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to start over on this one. Yeah, I can definitely tell you now it's too short. So that one I'm definitely gonna have to start over on. Okay, but I'll do that off camera, but you get the gist of wrapping that one around, right? All right, on to the next piece. Got our beautiful flower charm. Okay. And just like before, we're gonna wrap this in 3 loops. Now make sure this time the tail was long enough so I won't have an issue. Okay, so hold it there. Okay. It looks like my hubby made it back from the store with Snizzaks. Alright, and that's a 3rd good wrap right there. Take a look on this side. Yep, 3rd wrap on there. Then we'll go ahead and cut that tail down, and then we'll tuck it in. Give it a little snap. Okay, and then we're going to tuck that piece in so no one gets scratched. Alright, and now we shall add this side. I'm doing it where the smallest bicone part is to the flower, and that's for both sides. Alright guys, sorry about that technical difficulty with the light. My husband just came through the door, mistakenly turned the light out on us, but we're back. Alright, we were working on our last 2 pieces because like I said, we don't need to put all this together on camera. It's a lot of work. I think so far we're in like 16 minutes into this, so yeah. We'll do the rest off camera when it comes to this necklace. So, got the star, or I'm sorry, the flower on there. Now, like I said, the crystal bicones, the little small pieces will go towards the star, the small ends, okay? So let's go ahead and wire work this one. All right, so I'm gonna give it a cut about right here. That'll be just fine, okay? And then let's wrap this one around as well. And give it about right there. Did the wrap a little small in the tail, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We're only doing 3 wraps anyways, right? All right, so I'm gonna turn it across there. And bam. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give it my 3 little wraps. And I'm not worried that I did a really small tail because it's only gonna be 3 wraps, so it should work out just fine. Okay. And again, I'm using 20 gauge because it's easier to work with. It's not as thick, but if you want thicker wire, you can use 18 gauge, 16 gauge. I wouldn't recommend 16. As far as I would recommend is maybe 18. Yeah, because the smaller you go, the bigger it is. So yeah. 20 is what I recommend. I wouldn't recommend anything smaller than 20. It'll be very flimsy. And you don't want that. All right, so tucking in my piece here. Remember, you don't want nothing out that can pinch anybody's skin. You don't want that. Okay, when they talk about the jewelry you made, want them to talk positive. All right, now we've got our star. There we go. Or I keep saying star, y'all. It's in the shape of a star, so that's why I keep saying it. But flower. And then let's get our last piece wrapped here. And this is going to be the green one individually by itself. All right, let's get another wire wrap here. Tail's long enough. Pull it through, pull it under, pull it over. Okay, pull that straight. Use your hands or you can use your wire tool. I'm going to finish off with my hands. Okay, so let's get that a wrap. And you can do messy wrap if you want, but since I'm so princess inspired by this, I want it to be neat so it can be elegant. Okay, there's my 3 wraps. Oh, nice. Let's cut the tail off and tuck it. I keep losing these doggone cutters. Bam! All right. And again, thank you so much for you guys who have stayed tuned to my channel while I've been absent handling business. I'm very excited to be back, and I'm very happy for you guys to be back with me. For all you newbies, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be coming out every week with a new video now that I am settled. All right, so we got our 3 wraps on here. All right, let's go ahead and put this one on. Cut that tail. I'm gonna give myself a more length, like that much. And I'm gonna save this because I will need it for my bracelet. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one, and we'll be complete with our first set. We're not gonna do a second set. I think you guys get the gist of all we gotta do to get this necklace and bracelet going together. This is wire wrapping, okay? I'm so definitely going to have to invest in a new camera. Right now I'm using my phone because the one I brought before, I just couldn't work it. I had no idea how to work it. I'm not a camera person, guys. I'm not a photographer type person. I just know that having a good camera definitely comes in handy when you're trying to do your tutorials. Okay, I'm going to give the last... Pull a little closer since it's trying to go messy. And that's only because my tail is so short to work with. I didn't give myself a lot of tail to work with. All right, and so I don't scratch it up while I'm trying to close it. I'll use my little plastic guy here. There we go. Hold you there in place. And then just finish off that little tuck. There we go. Oh, sometimes you gotta really work with it. Let me just cut this tail off right there. That's the little part that's getting me. There we go. Now I can finish it off just right. Okay. All right, and we've got our little green guy done, okay? All finished, all set. Now you're gonna take all your pieces that you just did. Hopefully you guys brought yourself some jump rings because of course we're gonna need jump rings to put everything together, okay? Camera keeps moving. There we go. All right, so here's the 4 pieces that we did, right? We're going to start connecting those also with the jump ring. Or not the jump ring, with the connector, okay? So like we said, pattern is going to be starting with that beautiful one, that one. Then we're going to add our flower, okay? Then our green guy here, and then the connector. And you'll just repeat that way. That's how you're going to repeat, okay? Now, when it comes, and make sure you're using your jump rings in between each one. Okay, so you got your jump rings here, and here. Connect it. Okay. Close that up. Next jump ring. Put your flower in there. Oops. Get your flower in there. Connect it onto your next one on there. Same thing, when you connect your connector to here, you will use a small jump ring as well. You don't need a big one or a medium one, trust me. The small one will be just fine. Okay, connect it onto the next one. Okay, connect that there. Add that spacer or that connector, and then look, see? All right, and then that's what you're gonna continue doing, right? You're gonna continue doing it this way. Now, when you get ready and you're done and you're ready to add your pendants, you're gonna need one of those connectors for it, okay? So here's the finished product. Now, you're gonna take your pendant, use one of them jump rings, attach your pendant onto that spacer bead, and then 2 jump rings to connect. Now, the jump rings on this part, I would say use medium. It just looks better, and it gives it more room to wiggle, okay? So there we go. So you're gonna connect that, and you're gonna go right ahead until you're finished. Now at the end part, you can add a lobster claw if you want, or you can add a toggle. I did the lobster claw just because it was the closest to me. Now I'm most likely going to do a toggle because I have toggles that have flowers on it, pretty decorated ones. So definitely going to end up using that. Okay, so bam, there we go. All right. I'm going to pause right here to give you a minute to go ahead and get your necklace connected. And then we'll come back and we'll do the earrings. All right, guys, so we are back. And at this point, we should already have our necklace complete, ready to go. All right, and hopefully you took advantage as well to go ahead and get the bracelet done as well. Okay, so now let's work on the earrings. So let's put this to the side. And let's get the last little bit done, which is going to be our earrings. And it shouldn't take much longer. For our earrings, you're going to need pins. I'll say eye pins and regular pins. Hopefully this video doesn't look too light to you guys. Or too, como se dice, too dark, right? All right, so let's go ahead. And you're going to need one jump ring, guys. So pull out my little eye pin here. Okay, and then you're going to need a flat one. All right, and we're going to start off, grab your small bicone, okay, there we go. Grab your small bicone, and just like we did on the necklace, the small part will go towards the flower, okay? Put your flower on there. Bam, that's done. Now let's just close it up. All right, so what I like to do is just bend it right there, give it a little snip and bend it back, okay? Sorry guys, this camera's blowing me. Like I told you, since I moved, I got rid of my crafting table, so I need another crafting table. Right now, I'm using, have you ever seen one of those little lunch tables or little wooden things you use when you're in the living room and you want to sit down and eat dinner? You put it on that. That's what I'm on right now. That's why it's so wobbly. But with due time, in due time, right? In due time. Now, I know I made this tail a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut a little bit more. I don't know why I was thinking wire wrap. Don't need your tail when you're just making a regular loop to be so long. And if you guys do any good cameras to use when you're doing tutorial videos, let me know. I'm very interested. Like I said, I brought one that was $600 and had no idea how to work it. I don't want something that's so headache-like. You know what I mean? It just needs to get simple, straight to the point. I don't need all that fancy smancy stuff. I'm not even fancy smancy. Okay, so I'm going to cut a little bit more off because it was still too long, so I had to cut that piece. And try not to be heavy-handed like I am. My wire is already turning because I'm so heavy-handed. So I'm going to have to flip it back. See, it's bending already on me. All right. I'm still going to have to cut just a tiny bit more because I don't want it to, you know, go loosey-loose. So just a tiny more snip. And that should do it for me. Yeah, like right there. And close it up a little bit more. And then we should be good on this part. Okay. Now, you might already have one of those tools that does the loopy loops for you. That's even better. You don't even have to struggle. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's a looper. I know it's like 39 bucks for it. I brought a crimp machine thing, the little crimp, the tool that uses to crimp for you. I used it once, haven't even used it since then, and it's still sitting up in my toolbox. So I'm like, I don't try to waste my time on the fancy stuff because 9 times out of 10, I don't even use it. Okay, so we have our flower with the bicone right here. Okay, so I got the flower with the bicone on it. Next, we're going to go ahead. No, actually, let's go ahead and put this one together. So you're going to use your pin that actually has the open loop at the bottom. Okay, it just makes it easier. Put your end caps. And I'm using the bead that has more of that olive color to it versus the one that has that pretty bright green to it. And just because I have this bright green bicone, that's why. Okay, and I will tell you guys, FYI, while we was off camera and I was fixing some stuff up too, I ended up dropping my necklace on the floor and a bead broke in half. So it was one of these, and I'm guessing it broke in half because I have a hard floor for once. Plus, these beads are already crackled, so if it hits the floor, if it hits the hard floor hard, it is gonna break in half. So FYI for you on that one. All right, now let's go ahead and loop this one. Give it a little loop. So I'll bend that a little bit. Come back, snip, snip. Okay, and then we're gonna give this a little loop as well. And I still put too much. So let's snip you here. This one I try to be careful with because this pin wire is so flimsy. So I try my best to be careful with it so it doesn't break on me. All right, so that's that one. That's that one, right? Now, let's put it all together. And we're going to need one of those big connectors that I told you about, okay? So let's go ahead and get our stuff together. You're going to need a medium-sized jump ring. And your jump ring is solely going to be to connect your flower. So let's put your flower first. Put your spacer next, or your connector, I'm sorry, it's a connector. Okay, and then after you put your connector, add that other piece. All right, and then you're going to close that off from here. Okay, and then go ahead, and then I'm going to open it up from the earring part. Go ahead, take your fish hook earring, open it up, and then connect it to that. And you don't need a jump ring for that one. You really don't. I didn't like the way it looked with a jump ring. It just looked a little too weird, okay? And now we have our beautiful princess earrings ready. Look at that. I just love the way it comes out, and then it swings. The flower dangles in the middle, okay? So there's one, and there's your other set, your other pair, all right? And then got your beautiful necklace to go with that beautiful pendant. Okay, so there's your beautiful necklace with your beautiful pendant. You got your earrings right there in between. And like I said, this set I wanted to really, it reminded me of Princess Jasmine with all the green in it. So I really wanted to do something that was elegant and kind of reflected that part of her. Okay, and then you also have your bracelet. Okay, so you've made a beautiful necklace, beautiful bracelet, and beautiful earrings to go with. All using wire works. Very simple, very easy. It does take time to do the wire work part, so that part takes time, but the putting together, assembling, very easy. I really love the way these earrings came out because I was struggling to think of how can I make a set of earrings that would go with this, and I think this came out perfectly. I definitely love this pendant. It brings out everything. So there you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed making this set with me, and welcome back everybody to my channel. If you are new here, please like and subscribe to my channel. Next, we will be coming out with another Princess Tiana themed set. I've already started on the bracelet here. See that beautiful butterfly pendant? Cute. So we'll be doing that video come next. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. Actually enjoy your wonderful day. The weather's not too hot today, so should be able to get out there and enjoy it. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.